Corey, I've tried the calorie deficit thing. I did it for like 2 weeks. Nothing happened. Calorie deficit just does not work for me. I need you to give me something else. Listen, the people who are saying that they're not losing weight and are in a calorie deficit are just not in a calorie deficit. I'm sorry to break it to you. Now, this is not to say that there's not a small amount of people who need to work specifically with their doctors to figure out some sort of specific plan to account for an underlying condition that is genuinely impacting their ability to be able to be in a deficit. But that percentage of people is minuscule, and you are very likely not one of them. But bottom line really is, in order to lose weight, you're going to need to be eating less. You're going to need to be in a calorie deficit. And you can attack that from two angles. You can burn more calories, but you still have to make sure that your intake is dialed, because it's so much easier to accidentally overload on your intake calories. A lot of people think that they're eating in a calorie deficit, and they are not. They're not. It's very easy to miscalculate your deficit if you're not using the right tools. I mean, common mistakes are just not knowing how to track your food correctly, not knowing how to weigh things out to the gram, and have the correct references to be able to get real insight into what is actually in the food that you're eating. There's other like small culprits like cooking oil, salad dressing, nut butter. Very dangerous. Little things that add up that do contribute to a calorie surplus that people just don't think about, because they're just like, oh, it's a little bit here, it's a little bit there. It all adds up. And then finally, it just takes time. You have to give it more than a couple weeks, okay? If you're in a 500 calorie deficit a day, it's going to take you 7 days to lose 1 pound of fat, okay? 3,500 calories and 1 pound of fat, 500 calorie deficit a day, that's what it's gonna take. So if you wanna lose 4 pounds of fat, it could take you 4 weeks. You need to know what your baseline numbers are. You need to know what your BMR is, basal metabolic rate. That's what your body is just burning on a day-to-day basis. And then you're gonna need to start tracking your workouts. How many calories are you really burning during your workouts? That's gonna give you your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. And then from that number, you're going to derive what your calorie intake needs to be, because your calorie intake needs to be less than your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure, okay? In order for you to be in a deficit. Easy way to do this, to figure out what your baseline numbers are, download the Corpus app. Onboarding will get you your numbers, period. The next step is then going to be tracking your intake, tracking everything from there. It's a good start to know what your body is burning at rest and to know what maybe your average total daily energy expenditure is, which you can extrapolate by being like, okay, maybe I burn an average of like 300 or 400 calories per workout. I'm working 4 or 5 days a week. You can do the math. Corpus app will make it way easier for you to do the math, so you can just plug and play and you don't have to think about it. But that's all you, that's up to you, your decision. But then it's about being brutally honest about every single bite of food that you're putting in your body. If you want to get the results quickly, you need to be thorough. You need to do things the right way the first time. There are tools to help you. Corpus app is a tool that's going to help you, but you still have to put in the work. You still have to be disciplined. You still have to track. You still have to learn the skill set to be able to achieve the results that you want to achieve. Because it's really easy to just not track a couple bites of food that end up adding 100, 200 calories to your overall intake, which a lot of times can neutralize your deficit for the day. It is not easy, but it can be simple. Use the tools that you have at your disposal. Corpus is going to be the #1 tool to make it simple for you. Not easy, but simple. It's going to take away the burden of you having to think about what are the processes. You need to plug, play. You're going to get the projections of the numbers of where you're at, what your trajectory is, and what you need to do and maintain in order to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. So cut the fat out of your life figuratively and literally. Be brutally honest with where you're at. Get exacting clarity into your own body, into your intake, and seize the life and body that you know you can have. I believe in you. Use the tools that are at your disposal. Corpus app, #1. You got this.